Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of Us versus Movies. I am Kevin, and as always, there is Mr. Kabil. Say hello to the people.
Hello, I'm Mr. Kabeel. I'm running for your local Quiznos council, I guess.
It's like, what happened to the squash gerbil commercials? That fucking really got my attention, and I strangely wanted sandwiches.
Put us on the map and also took us off the map. We went a little, we went, we flew too close to the sun.
Well, first we
Too
wanted to
fucking
start
close.
toasting everything, and then we're like, what if they smushed mice? You know what? The rest is history.
The rest is history. Everyone thought we smushed and toasted mice into our sandwiches. And long story short, you can get our sandwiches now at Domino's. We sold the recipe.
Wow, I didn't know that.
No, they didn't. I just made that shit up. I mean,
They're like, you get the bread close to the heat, and then you do what we did.
you can still find Quiznos at like gas stations. I don't know why we're plugging Quiznos so much. Maybe RIP and miss them.
Well,
But
dude, you're running for
well,
CEO last time I heard.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's like between me and like some 15-year-old girl in Idaho, and she's probably got a solid chance. She's done a lot more student counseling than I ever did, so
Sure.
we'll see. She could probably save that company. Anyway, we are here to talk about a movie, Kevin. You wanna?
Yeah, it's Vivarium with Jesse Eisenberg. What's he big from? The Facebook movies?
Facebook and those magician movies where he's like, "I'm a magician, try to catch me."
Yeah, and he's Catch Me If You Can with a bit of magic.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. And then
Imagine Poops.
no, goddamn you! I wanted this one so bad, you fuck.
I think it's universal.
Imogen Poots. It's Poots. Poots is in the movie.
I think her parents were just like, you know what? Fuck it, we're doing it. The mom was like, "What are we doing?" You're like, "You'll see."
You'll see. Sleepover rules on the birth certificate. He's like, there it is. She fell asleep.
Imagine poops.
Imagine poops.
The nurse is like, "I'm not fucking putting that." She's like, "You gotta put it." I'm like, the DAD up in this mofo.
They're like, "Sir, it's great that you can spell dad, but I kind of until I see a fraternity test,
Is that what I spelled?
The movie's is rated R. It's 97 minutes long. It's a horror mystery sci-fi.
Ooh, it is.
And directed by Lorcan Finnegan, who also is credited for the story, and he's done a bunch of shorts and nothing else.
This was actually
based
off of one of his shorts. He
Oh,
did a
okay.
short, and this is more like an elaborate version of that.
That
So
makes some sense about the pacing. But anyway, and there's also some creepy children in it and a crying woman. That's all that's pretty much on the...
listen, man, this is a two-pony show with a little pony in the end. That's all you need to know about. You're the Eisenberg and the Poops, they're gonna make this thing run. And run it does. And it runs. And it runs.
So technically, this movie has only released in France and New Zealand outside of, the digital release it received worldwide, because they were like, fuck it, do you watch this on YouTube for $6, please? Can you?
Will you?
Between France and New Zealand, it made 123,000. So that's what Eisenberg gets for producing this one. Strangely enough, because this was released in 2019, I think they recorded it on like a weekend in between filming The Art of Self-Defense, which they're also both Poots and Eisenberg. They're in that one. That one's supposed to be funny. I just wonder if their chemistry is any better. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe we'll do that one too, because now I just want to find all the movies Poots has been in.
I don't know if you can top. No, I've seen some of her other work in some of the movies. She's in some like is it the new Craft movie or some witch thing?
The new Craft movie,
like
the Black Christmas or something, or
I'll take that. Yeah, Black Christmas. Look, here's the thing. I love horror movies. Black Christmas is not a good horror movie. I'm sorry, everyone, but to keep remaking this fucking thing. Like everyone's like, we
didn't see it either. No.
It's been 6 months. Let's remake Black Christmas. Let's do it. Like, no, stop. It sucks.
Hear me out. I know the last Black Christmas bombed horribly, but it's been about 3 weeks. Why don't we go ahead and get a new production going?
Let's fire it up. Black Christmas 2? Fuck no. Reboot.
She was also in 28 Weeks Later. I think she
That's
was
where I think I
first or something.
Yeah.
I Killed Giants. I mean, she's actually been in like enough stuff where you wish you recognized her, but then you just kind of keep seeing it and you're like Roadies. No, I'm not going to watch that. Pop Star. No, I'm definitely not going to watch that. Green Room. I don't know what that is, but it looks.
Oh, no, Green Room's good, dude. It's about a punk band. Yeah, I like Green Room. I thought it was fun.
Need for Speed.
Ooh, Underground?
Nah, the bad one.
Oh,
the normal one with the Breaking Bad guy.
Oh, I think I saw that for 5 seconds, and I was like, "Is this a Fast and the Furious?" And no one told me or anyone working on this fucking thing.
It was the original Fast and the Furious 10 years after the original Fast and the Furious. You're like, why'd you do this? They're like, franchise, and they're like, no, no.
You should have just went to Underground. You fucking played yourself.
Yeah. And Fright Night is probably
the remake of Fright Night.
The remake.
Oh yeah, I love the original. Don't hate me, but the remake with Colin Farrell.
Is it Colin? Colin? He's like, my name is Colin.
He's like, never heard that one. Appreciate you.
He's like, remember when I did Bullseye, and then after that, I just became a real asshole towards everyone, including my wife and child at the time.
They're like, before or after? He's like, I stated when that happened.
Yeah, it's with Colin Farrell, as he's forever known now. And David Tennant. What the fuck? There's a lot of people in this movie I like.
Yeah, wait, the Fright Night remake was trash.
I'm not saying I saw it or would like it. I'm just saying it's sad that there's so many people in it that I like that that they hid it from me in their career. They're like, no. Hide Fright Night. Don't let them see that.
We'll never speak of this again until we do.
Yeah. Until someone remembers. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it says Colin Farrell is Ireland's biggest star in Hollywood.
Duh.
And abroad. And I don't think you get to add that on your own IMDb there, Mr. Colin.
It's real cheeky of him to do that. So, I don't know about you, Dustin, but when this movie first started, I was like, did every production company on planet Earth put this fucker together? Did everyone just be like, I'll buy the cups, I'll get the fucking Teflon?
Yeah, that was my... I suspect, was this filmed in Dutch or in
yeah, no, it is a foreign
Poland, I guess. Yeah, because
it's a lot of independent
every independent Polish company fucking had their hand on it. Yeah, it was worse than like Hong Kong film from like the early 2000s where you're just like, oh, okay, there's like 7 of you. No, this one was just like we're putting like 2 or 3 logos on the screen and we're still going. Like that's how many we're like just like 15 logos deep now. It's like figuring out produce
when
this.
Denmark and Belgium and Ireland get together to throw a fucking flick at you, everyone's getting some shine.
They're like, you want in on this? Is it the one with the greenhouses? Yeah, it's the fucking one with the greenhouse. Oh, fucking, we are in on the greenhouses. Is fucking social media there? No, it's Lex Luthor. Oh, even fucking better. I love that guy. He became a household name off of that shit. Fucking Lex Luthor. Look at him. Does he have hair or no hair? No, he's got the hair. It's real fucking curly now. Really fucking curly.
Did you want to know what the movie's about? Fuck no.
No, I assume like relationships are hard or something, right? It's indie. Right?
I assume it's sick as fuck.
So I'll be honest, Kevin, before we went into this, picked this film, I did not watch a trailer. I didn't read a synopsis. So I was just kind of like, okay, movie, what the fuck you about? And then after the, 15 minutes of production companies, it just opens on birds. And I was like, okay. I swore Jesse Eisenberg was in this. Is he voicing another bird, Rio? Is he doing that again? Because that movie's not good at all.
No, I knew what it was about. Hence the only reason I was kind of like, oh, it's tickled my fancy a bit. So I want to see more. So
Fancy tickler.
yeah, I like the premise of this. It does a lot of things I like, and I'll kind of just hint on it as we
Yeah.
go.
It
If I
just
guess
has this horrible pacing problem, which is not too, you know, surprising given he is kind of a first-time feature film or second-time feature film director, and that is very independent.
well, I think it's
Yeah.
sometimes what happens if you're not at the top of your game and you write and direct something. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of space. I think even like quote unquote Hollywood veterans, you got to be have that shit so tight because no one can really intervene and go, hey, that sucks. Let's not do that. That's not showing right. You know, hey, that's not fucking. Let's lose this scene. Let's tighten this. Let's change this. Because you're just gonna be like, no, I'm behind the camera and I wrote this bitch. No one's telling me nothing.
No one telling me nothing. Also, I got so many producers, they're fucking so confused. None of them are seeing the dailies. None of
Exactly.
them.
And if they did, they'd be like, I don't get it.
They'd be like, what the fuck is. How much is the CG budget? How much? Oh my God.
That's fair.
$50? This is ridiculous. Yeah, so we open with birds. This one bird is an asshole and he's pushing eggs out of the nest. And then a smaller bird is born and he's like, fucking you get out too. And so he's just killing birds. And then we see this bird grow and it's a different bird than the mother bird, and the mother bird's still feeding this fucking bird that has taken over its nest. And that is the entire movie. That is the symbolism of the entire movie. I was like, okay, I get it. Show me how we get here, I guess. Thank you for the birds.
It's called surrogate motherhood.
with poots.
Yeah. I like it. I'd watch that. I just did. You got me, movie. You got me.
You did.
So yeah, you meet Jemma
Poots.
for the first time.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jemma. We're going with real names? Okay. Or character
no,
names?
we've done that.
Yeah. Jemma, yeah.
I mean, I think us mocking her government name can only go so far for people like, I get it.
No, don't get me wrong. I love it.
I love it.
If I was marrying her, I would be like, I'm taking your maiden name.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pulling a Jack White, and I'm now Mr. Poots. Okay.
And I'd have a shirt that says I'm with Poots with the arrow pointing to her. I would just go all out. I go, I'm Poots without you. And then, you know what I mean? Just all these little coupley shirts. Yeah, I'd literally be out of control.
When the divorce hit, and it would hit rather quickly.
No, I'd make it work.
The name. I'm keeping the name.
I'd make it work.
You would make it work. She would be like, okay, listen, that's the 15th shirt in a row that has my goddamn name on it. So sign these papers. I'll be like, all right, so I get like half of the assets, or she's like, just sign the goddamn papers. I'm like, all right, keeping my name.
I'm going to have you killed.
I'm like, oh, no shit.
I guess just ahead of time, if you're remotely interested in this, we're going to go through the movie pretty, I don't want to say shot by shot, but we kind of chat about it a lot. It does have an ending where you can go, oh, is there a spoiler in it for me? Yeah, that's just kind of comes with what we do here. So
there's going to be several spoilers. Like if you continue to listen from this point out, you will probably not have any reason to watch the film outside of just wanting to see the performances.
Yeah. So, or if you're like, I want to hear what these two bumblefucks have to say about this movie, then welcome.
Or maybe we'll sell you on it really hard and you'll be like, no, I'm still going to see it. What the fuck? Oh, God. They were right about everything. Especially those goddamn birds and the production companies.
Exactly. So when we meet Jemma, she is a grade school teacher. She's teaching the kids, the trees. They're doing dances. And, she's just got a real good rapport with children. You literally got 30 seconds to grasp that because she is outside.
Yeah, she's out. What teacher just gets to leave when the bell rings? It's like, what the fuck? Dude, she's just like, I'm not responsible for any of these children now. Dude, they're just like running.
We're in another country, bro. They have a better education system than us. That's why. Because the teachers and the kids, they're friends. They freely move in and out of their environment.
They both clock out at 3. They're just like, we're done.
Dude, I saw she's real cash. She's dressed like a barista. I mean, she's got her like a flannel, like real comfy. There's no like.
It was very comfy. I'm gonna say awkward clothing at
I don't know,
times.
man.
At times,
I was kind of like,
we'll
okay.
we'll touch on it.
Um, so she goes out, and then I guess the groundskeeper Eisenberg,
Tom,
Tom,
groundskeeper Willie. He is in a tree for reasons unknown to us,
unknown,
other than to I don't know, pretend to be a tree.
because that's part
They
of her
have
gimmick. Yeah, they do a
yeah,
little jokey poo. Hey, how was your day, hun bun? How was your day?
he
And yeah,
buries the birds that her and a student were looking at moments ago in a very shallow grave.
yeah, he kind
Very
of he dialed it in. I don't even think he broke the surface.
Nah, it was like that was like take one. He broke the surface, and they were like, "That's a bit deep." He was just like, "Really? The fuck? Something's digging up these birds and eating them." But whatever.
Yeah, like I could walk by and the grass would blow. That bird's corpse is flipping down the road.
Yeah, and then he cleans up his shit, and they're off. He apparently does gardening, so
Yeah, like
he has not a lot of equipment to do that.
so from here's the thing. This is the part I'm a little confused. Like I don't see the evidence of like hardcore gardening or groundskeeping or construction or anything.
Especially in his physique.
And I wasn't checking him out, but I'm not looking away.
He
And
has the
I
small
see
frame. Yeah, I'm not looking away. I mean, I was a little disappointed when we did the magic shirt change and there was no abs.
no, actually I was really okay with that. I was like, that's good. I didn't want to see
I
that.
was like, where'd you get that fucking shirt from? How is it any less smelly than the other one you had on?
Because, dude, so this is part where I'm kind of like a little bit of a shrug where I'm like, what? So there's like probably I don't know, a 10-foot ladder on top of the car. It's like this little VW thing, like this Golf accent. Well, I don't know what the fuck it is.
It looked like a Golf.
Like it looked like one of the newer ones because it wasn't shaped like hatchbacky, but it was. It's her car from what I can tell because she initially drives.
Oh,
And
the
then
keychain has a G on it. So
yeah, a G, but she's cool with the ladder being on top. So we assume they have one vehicle. I assume there have been a couple for a while, and I've dated a lot in my life. Unfortunately, I haven't had that
not to brag or be
one to put a
sad,
ring
but
on it, ladies. I'm looking. You listening? But
they're not, Kevin.
they're not at all. um, so we don't really see their relationship status and what level they're at, but we're gonna go get a house together. And I was like, that's what I do. We've been dating for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
That's yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about that because I was just so distracted by the ladder and like how loosey goosey put it up there. I was like, oh, it's gonna fall off.
Yeah, so I'm taken by that. I'm like, okay, like I mean, I can see moving in with your girlfriend or your significant other, boyfriend, whatever. You got them, you're doing it. Eventually, if the relationship's strong enough, there's no really indication that they're married. I assume they're close. They're very comfortable with each other, but they're not lovey-dovey. So it's not like the honeymoon phase or anything. I'm just kind of unsure the strength and status of the relationship, which I thought should be a very important kickoff thing because that's really the test of the movie and a lot of what it's trying to put in front of the viewer, you know?
Yeah, and they come across comfortable with each other, you know? I guess that's how I took it. Because then they drive and they get into the strangest real estate office possibly ever. And they're just kind of like, I heard a murmur of him. He's like, oh, I think like your mother came with the apartment or something. So they might just be like, I don't know, too many people in their space and looking for their own space or something.
Yeah, but I need to know that for the venture that they're about to go on. So, like, yeah, they go to this real estate company and it's called Yonder. I was like, oh, that's kind of witty. I get it. And they go in there and they see these little model homes. And this guy, he's kind of dressed like, no offense, he's dressed like a Mormon. He has the black on the white and the jet black tie. His home, like, I'm really waiting for him to knock on the door and tell me about the LDS life. And he's very odd. He's very like I say like a toned down maybe Fire Marshal Bill, like a Fire Marshal Bill on a one, just really awkward, very animated, very like Ren and Stimpy-ish kind of human character.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Fire Marshal Bill, maybe just the mouth, like just the mouth.
like it almost looked like, I don't know if you remember Liquid Television on MTV, and they had like it was like something to do with like it was like a very comic booky type, and they kind of had like clay hair and overextended features and stuff.
Head?
Um, huh?
Was it the head?
No. This was live action, and
Oh, no.
but they almost looked like plastic dolls. He kind of reminded me of that, where their hair would almost look like a Barbie doll hair, where it was plastically just
Oh.
combed and put in place, and they would act real, just weird and awkward because it was Liquid Television and fuck stories, just be weird. Um,
Be weird. It'll be our downfall. That and our,
exactly.
blockbuster,
Run
mostly.
that cart too with that super hot chick again with their tongue, the tongue things they do all the time, the
You
tongue
talking
shit.
the dirty or the clean version?
We'll do a movie later on. It'll fucking suck.
It'll super fucking suck.
It'd be 20 years too fucking late. Ah, we're fucking Hollywood. Um,
But
so
yeah,
yeah,
so
he just has this weird thing. He's kind of got the weirdo vibes. They're kind of picking up on it,
yeah, and
but
he like copies them at one point, I think.
yeah, he mimics, like Tom says something snarky and he mimics it perfectly, and they kind of stop and go, "Oh,
Like, what was
we're
that,
we're
sir?
doing that now."
We're
Um,
doing that. That's happening.
yeah, so he's like, "Hey, let's go check out the yonder. It's this big area that has all these track houses galore. Let's
Yeah,
go
they're
check
like,
it out."
how far is it? He's like, not far, but far enough.
Yeah, he's real vague. He's very like, man, it reminded me of it's so terrible. I can't think of it now, but it reminded me of something else where he's just spoken riddles, I guess. He never
Yeah,
really
that's the
commits
best
to
way to say
anything.
it.
So they follow him, and they're just kind of like, what the fuck? So they come upon this thing, nice big houses everywhere, but they all the same. I guess they look like Monopoly houses. That's what it reminded
Yeah.
me of. Like the
Like they take cookie cutter to the next level. All the houses are the exact same. It's not
big,
like, oh, we flipped it to the left, we flipped it to the right. Some of them are painted cream, the others are blue. No, this is all
no,
green. They're all the same.
like
Yeah,
fucking like yeah, like digitally printed, like just boom, like
yeah,
um.
and they
So
are
they're
all digitally painted. So
no, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're clearly there's use of CG and stuff here, but I thought it worked because it put them in this weird,
yeah,
almost like
works for the story.
it worked for the story. It felt like a TV set in a weird, huge way. Like the way the backdrop with the clouds and the sky looked. I kind of really like the world they're in. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things I loved about this. I thought was very intriguing and fun to watch. But then there was a lot of things that just kind of just took all that away. Every time I liked something, I found two things that just bothered me a little bit. But
Yeah,
so they're in there, and just to speak about the neighborhood, other than the like, it's kind of the way the characters interacted with that new world that they're introduced to. It's not like they're bickering, and it's not like they have something going on. They're listening to fucking reggae music, and they're just chilling and they're just in their own little world, not really paying attention. Like to me, it would stand out so like beyond if I saw something like this. I mean, there's no stop signs, there's no street lights, there's no street signs, there's no nothing. Like it doesn't look like a neighborhood. It looks like you're in a poorly rendered video game. They don't have enough assets to fill everything. There's no fire extinguishers. There's no other vehicles, no people walking. There's no sound. There's no birds. There's no nothing. But these guys are just like, I could see like if they were bickering and quarreling and that like took them out of it and they're not really paying attention. They're just blindly following this guy. But
yeah, but I mean, but if they were doing that, then it's less
right, but
believable that any of
no,
the
no,
beginning stuff would happen. So
exactly. And so I don't disagree with it. I just wish my characters were engaging each other or something that they have to solve to keep them from really, really looking into the details.
yeah,
Whatever.
but they don't know they have to solve anything though. I'll say
No,
that
no, no,
because
no. I
they're
mean, like
just
between them, I don't know them. It took me. They meet. They look like brother and fucking sister. I don't know what they are. I assume they're a couple because they're saying kind of couple things, and then they're just thrusted into this weird world. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna let it go because I don't know what kind of story is being told. Is it a dream? Is it like, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, we'll see.
well for me. I mean, I noticed that they both had kind of a let's just like in Tom even says it at one point. He's like, all right, let's get this over with. Like he's already not sold on this place, but just entering the neighborhood, he's just
Right.
like, nah, this ain't happening. And so they just kind of go through the motions. The
Right.
weirdo guy, his name's Martin. He ushers them inside.
They
He
go
does
to
this
a house.
amazing walk around of the living room where he greets them on the other side, and he's just like, "Living room, a place to live."
Yeah, he's real. He's real kind of just. I don't want to. He's just real. He's very basic in the way he delivers all his information. They go to the house. It's number 9. He goes in there. It's already been adorned with like furniture and stuff. It looks like a ready to move in model unit.
Yeah.
Uh, it has the champagne. It has strawberries for like a welcome basket. Hey, welcome to your new home. And they're just kind of like, ah, we're good. No champagne for me. And he's like, what about some strawberries? He's like, I'm driving. Humor, everyone.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I would probably it's a nice corny thing to say. So Martin's a little taken back. He's kind of like, oh, being rejected here. Not really sure, but you know what? You guys do that thing. I'm gonna be over here. And
Yeah.
they're just kind of like, hey, what do you want to do? She's like, let's just get the fuck out of here. She's like, all right, agreed. So they both
Well,
agree
no,
to
no,
that.
no. They tour the whole house. They
No, they
tour the
do.
whole
They do. They
house,
walk
and
the
then
whole house.
he
They
walks
go
them
outside.
out, yeah, to the backyard,
Hmm.
and they're just kind of like, okay, yeah, backyard, cool. And Gemma looks over the fence. She doesn't see any activity. She's like, hey, when do other people move in? And then they realize
He's not there. Right.
he's not there because we see him just kind of give this like
See you later.
blank look, and then he just walks away very quickly. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And then yeah, they go, they look for him. They're like, hey, fucking weirdo,
His
where are
car's
you?
yeah, his
And
car's
they're like,
gone.
his car's gone. All right. The fuck? And so they're like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. That's weird. This is weird. This whole place is weird. Let's get the fuck out of here. And they start driving. They start driving, Kevin, and they drive and they drive
They drive.
and they keep coming back to number 9. And so
Yeah.
Tom's like, hey, fucking I'm driving. Like, pull over, I'm driving. And she's like, all right, fine. I'll give you a shot at it. Go ahead. And then he starts driving, and no matter what, no matter how long they drive for, number 9. Number
Yeah.
9, number 9, number 9.
Left, right, center, up, down, doesn't matter which way they go. They always end up in front of number 9 again. And it's starting to wear on their whole like psyche. They're just kind of like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. So eventually the car runs out of gas in front of number 9. And they're just like, okay, well, I guess the door's still open. Let's just go inside and stay the night because it's fully furnished. Why not? Let's not sleep in the car. That's weird, right? And the next morning they go out and they're just I think at some point they don't they try the strawberries that time.
Yeah, so they drink the
Yeah.
champagne and the strawberries, but that doesn't taste like anything. It's just like
Yeah.
substance, right?
Yeah, they're just like like, and they eat all and they're like, any of these fucking no taste.
Yeah.
There's no fucking taste. And
the
go ahead.
next another thing on the environment, like the grass is artificial turf. The clouds kind of look like a kid's like play. They're just kind of hanging in the air like they're cotton, but they're
Yeah,
all
they don't
identical.
move and they all look perfect.
Yeah, and the sun, it just everything looks very artificial. I like that's the part of I did enjoy. I like the way everything looked, and they felt like they were literally, like I said, in like an old TV set. So, they go outside, and then there's a box. There's a box there. That's
Yeah.
what happens like the next day, and it has this company's
Oh
name
no.
on it.
Well, no. First, before they find the box, because they no, they start walking first. Actually, remember they walk all
That's
day
right.
and all night.
They do leave. They leave it, and they
Yeah.
start hopping the fence, and he's just like, this is the part where I was finally like, the characters are actually like they're kind of catching on now. I'm just like, hey, follow the sun. You know what I mean? North, south, east, west. Like, and they start kind of like snapping out of it and trying to like critically think. So that was the part where I was like, because in a situation like this, it turns into it's a double-edged sword, because if your characters are too stupid, you lose as a viewer. You're just like, these guys are fucking idiots. I don't care what happens to them.
Yeah.
But as a viewer, I'm always a massive fan of these odd predicaments. Like, what really is this? And as long as that's the good hook, like, and it has a great hook of like what's really going on. And then like a lot of stories, it's when you find out is what's really going on. It's never as good as it should be or what you want it to be, and that's where the disappointment kind of comes from. So for me, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, my problem with okay, so yeah, they were smart following the sun, but they took zero provisions with them.
no,
I mean, they're
exactly,
they're in the
exactly,
sun all day, hopping fences all fucking day,
right, right.
and it's just like, what? You guys are gonna die of like dehydration or something, sunstroke or something.
I will agree with you 100% on that. Is like that was the thing. That was the thing I loved. I was like, oh, you're finally like smartening up. But then you do something. You do one thing smart and two things stupid. You know,
Yeah,
you get on top of the house to see which way you're looking at,
yeah.
but you're not following. You're you're doing the most like you're just exerting yourself way too much for too little. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like the exertion, and again, that's why I go back to like his non-gardener frame. I'm just like, man, this guy could like go for days apparently walking and climbing fences and
But
not
no,
feel
that's
any
the
sort of
thing.
exhaustion.
No, they do. Towards the end, they're
Yeah, towards the
sweating. Like
very, very end.
he gets blown up and she's still going, right?
Yeah,
And the thing that upset me, and I was like, dude, okay, so it's the equivalent of being lost in a forest, right?
yeah.
So everything's identical. They're not leaving any markers. I would have been kicking down fences, dude. I'd have been starting shit. I'd have been breaking glass. I would have been leaving steps and been like, yo, we
Yeah, I
went
would have
this
gone
way.
into any other fucking house just to be like,
Exactly.
let's, okay, there's no one seems to be in this house. Let's check out this house.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
what the fuck? Yeah, that kind of bothered me that they just sat there and looked at all these other houses and never thought to go in
yeah,
and
or
look.
use them to your advantage of some kind. You know, I mean, there's got to be,
Yeah.
like you said, resources in there because there's provisions that later on get provided from them. So they go back and after they
Yeah,
just
so when
do
they're
their,
they're finally tanked, they
hmm
see Gemma sees there's one house with a light on, and then she's like, "There's a light on, there's a light on." So they climb over the fence. They go inside because the door's open, of course, and there is their drink, their champagne that they drink, and their strawberries that they ate,
hmm
just sitting there, and they're like, "Fuck! How did we get all the way back to where we started?"
mighty number nine, they're back at it.
Yeah. And then that's when they go outside because for whatever reason they're just like, let's just go back outside and check the door.
When they go to the car for something,
No, they literally go back out to make sure they're in the same fucking house and to
I
see
guess
their car. They
I
because
guess
that's
I would too. Like the
yeah,
breakdown of sanity, I guess.
yeah. They're just like, all right, let's just see if our fucking car is in front of this, and that's when they find the box of provisions. It's all like freeze dried like
No,
food.
you know what it reminded me of? Like it looked like little Fisher Price fake food, like inside like a
Kinda, yeah,
cellophane wrap, and you break it open, but there was like little meats and eggs and like shrimpy things underneath and like these
yeah, and everything had like
canisters.
a generic look to it. So
Yeah, yeah, it looked like it probably looked how it tastes, I guess.
yeah, and so she's like, someone was here. I'm gonna fucking yell for them, and we start hearing this that her voice just echoes
Mm-hmm.
back and forth at her. It's not that it's echoing and keeps on going. It's clearly bouncing off and reverberating back. And you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting. Meanwhile, Tom is just like,
Fuck
fuck
this.
yeah, fuck this. I got snacks. He goes inside and then he's just like, oh, I'm a smoker, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke 'em if you got them. And he lights that shit on fire. And I appreciated that. That was one thing I really liked.
Yeah, me too.
I did not like how they just sat and laid awkwardly on top of each other and watched the fire way too close. I was like, what are you guys doing, stupid?
Yeah, I didn't get it. Like Tom takes the box of the provisions, rips it up, lights a piece on fire, starts lighting the curtains on fire. So I was like, this guy wants results and he wants them now. I'm digging it. And then she's like, yo, what the fuck? He's like,
Yeah, she's
fuck
like, what'd you
this.
do? He's just like, who gives a fuck? He was like, let him come. I don't give a fuck. I want out of here.
Yeah, yeah. So whoever's did this, they're gonna come and then fuck them. So
Yeah.
they sit across and they just kind of watch it burn, and you're like, all right, that seems dangerous. I mean, if this hits like a
Yeah.
gas line, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know enough
Well, just
about
in the
our
smoke.
surroundings.
Like,
Yeah, no, of course the
you're too
smoke, the
close
ash.
regardless. They're too close to the smoke.
I thought like if they would have went like a house or two over and sat on the roof or something, I would have been like, all right, I believe that. And then you can
Yeah.
like look out for emergency vehicles or whatever shows up, right? But they didn't
Yeah.
do that. They just sat there like 10 feet away, be like, Tucker, take me, take me.
Yeah. They fall asleep. We wake up. There's a new box.
Oh, they're covered in ash too, and the
Yeah, they're
house is
covered in
perfectly
ash.
fine.
Everything's perfectly fine except for that somewhat of the ash around them where they were sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's new. Everything's new again. There's a new box, and you're like, oh, more provisions. Surely it's more provisions.
Mm-mm.
No, they open it. It's a fucking baby. Like,
I like that part. I was
yeah,
like,
I like that
that
too.
the ante is what they say been upped. So you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are we getting into? And it's like, raise the boy and he lives, you can leave. That's the
Yeah.
sip.
That's and they're just like, okay. And then we seemingly flash forward 7 years in the future, Kevin.
Was it 7 years?
Well, no, hold on. I'm going somewhere with this because the boy is clearly about 7 or 8.
Right.
Okay, so you're like, oh my god, how long have they been there for? And this little fucking monster comes in, and you're just like, oh god, the degree of this movie just shifted hardcore into the sci-fi. Like we were in sci-fi, but now we're fucking in sci-fi.
Mm.
The kid, what do they start? Does he just start talking and then they flip him off, or do they flip him off and then he starts talking?
No, yeah. So this is I did kind of like this part because
I've liked this part a lot. This is probably my favorite part of the movie.
he comes into their bedroom and they're knocked out and they're just sleeping. He comes in, opens the door, and to the viewer, he's literally dressed like Martin. He's got the Mormon look, black on white shirt, little tie, a little hair slicked up. Like you said, he's probably like 7'8", and he just starts this banshee howl. Doesn't he start screaming?
Yeah, I think maybe. No, I don't know if he screamed there. I thought he started imitating like them. He starts having
Oh, he starts
he starts having this
mimicking them.
conversation. Yeah. He starts
Oh,
mimicking them, and then Gemma flips him off. Jemma flips him off.
Gemma?
So
Is that like a Marvel character?
yeah, it is. It probably totally is. But then he flips her off, and then he does the shriek, and then
Yeah.
Tom flips him off, and they're both just sitting there flipping him off.
Everyone's flipping everyone off.
Yeah, and you're like, man, this is a hilarious relationship that these surrogate parents have with their child who mimics them, and his voice.
His voice was
this.
It was a great idea. It's almost like a layered adult's voice with a child's voice with like this little computer edge inside it, like a little Cybertronian going on.
It's very so he sounds almost like an adult when he's talking, but has this like this pitch and tone that's still childlike. It's very
creepy.
It's super creepy. I was watching this with my family, and my son was just like, "What's wrong with the boy?" And I was just like, "We
don't know. He's a mystery.
He's a goddamn monster." No, I just told him, I was like, "He's a fucking monster." My wife is just like, "His voice is weird." I was like, "Yeah, that's because it's this."
That's the point, wife.
Yeah. She's like, "Is his voice really like that?" I was like, "Fuck no, his voice isn't really fucking like that.
This is a documentary.
He's a 1 in a billion child if his voice sounds like that." No, they've done this intentionally. Yeah, my son tapped out early on this movie. He's like, "This boy's freaking me out," and just like left. I was just like, "I don't blame you, kid."
He's like, measure me.
Yeah, and then the kid in the movie, not my kid. He's like, yeah, the monster child. He's just like, measure me. Have I grown? And so they go to the door.
And I saw 98 days. I saw 98.
And that's what I'm saying. I was like, it was a joke saying that it's been 7 years, because that's what they kind of trick you to think. They're just like, man, they've been with this kid a long time. They're just like, fuck you, kid. But no, it's only been 98 fucking days, and you can see the check marks of how fast this thing has grown. And we get I think at this point we get one of the classic lines where he says, "Thank you, mother," and she's like, "I'm not your fucking mother."
No. She says, "I'm not your mother." She saves that to the very end, that spiteful one.
She had one other time where she said, "I'm not your fucking mother."
But not with that fucking pop.
Yeah, not with the pop.
Last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have this weird dichotomy, the three of them, and it's not fun. It's not like they're not having. It's really like it looks insanely draining. This thing this kid can't communicate. He just kind of like mimics and he mocks and he does it very spitefully
Yeah.
towards them, almost to kind of cause angst between them.
Yeah,
And
when he copies them, it's only arguments. So you don't actually get to see their arguments. You just relive it through him, and you can see how fucking drained they are when it happens. They're just like, "Yeah, man, like fuck you. We know. Like
yeah,
we can't. We're trying to patch things up and move on because we fucking have to. We have to rely on each other. So
yeah, because
shut the fuck up." And then
they're
when he
their
imitates a dog, I was like, "Kill him. Fucking kill him.
yeah, like
Kill him now."
they're trying to the only sense of normality they have is each other. So they're constantly just stressing each other out because they're at the point where they don't know what to do. Everything they've done has failed. There's no hope in sight. The only like thing that they're hanging on to is raise this thing and it lives and you're free. That's it. That's all they got. So her like maternal teacher S type instincts are kind of kicking in slowly but surely while dealing with the child. And then Tom's kind of like it's kind of grinding on him.
Yeah, he
Where
keeps reminding her that's not a child. Don't call him
yeah, I,
him.
I
He's like, that's
love
a
that.
fucking
I,
it, you know?
I I love that he tried to keep that consciousness
Hmm.
because he's not on board with shit. Like
No.
he's hating it. He hates life. He
Like
doesn't
this child screeches until they pour his cereal in, and then they pour the milk. And if the milk isn't enough, he
certain
just keeps
level.
screeching. Yeah, so they're just like, there, is that enough? You fucking And I was just like, how do you not just haul off and hit this fucking thing
Oh, dude,
all
like
the time? Like, if
it,
you don't have kids, don't fucking watch this movie because it'll make you just like, I'm never
no,
having fucking kids.
no, this is
Never.
it
It's not what it's
removes
like with kids, but it's not that far.
yeah, it removes it from being a kid to just almost like this thing that mocks you because it's almost like it knows if it incurs any damage, you're fucked. You can't get out of
Yeah,
this fucking hell, this prison that you're in.
yeah, it's
So
very conscious of its tactics towards them.
yeah,
You know,
for
it's
for
always,
sure.
and one thing they say and that he copies them saying is that he's always watching, and that is very disgustingly true.
Yeah,
So,
no, he's always like everything. So they try to have human, intimate moments, and this is the part in the movie where I'd like to say that it it almost takes a break where it's like, hey, we've just hit you with all these cool twists and turns and what ifs and what's going on. And now it's kind of taking a breather. It's like, whoa, man, this is where our pacing is going to kind of just, it might shit the bed a little bit. We get
yeah,
the,
it does, in my
it
opinion.
does. Like, this is the part that kind of hurts where you feel like they need to show you this, but it's like I only like my two characters just because I feel like I'm on this journey with them, but
Yeah,
there's nothing to really root for. I just kind of want to see what happens. And I
exactly.
think it should have been a prime opportunity. They kind of hint on it towards the end, but by then it's way too late.
Yeah.
Of there needed to be more moments that they're sharing that this thing interrupts to bring them closer or to push them apart. But the story chooses to kind of push them apart with this, which is understandable because Tom he's in and out on the smoking. I assume that he's getting the cigarettes from the box because
No, no, he's rationing because if you look,
he's he's
it's
smoking them
getting
to the butt.
yeah, he's like smoking a little bit, putting it out, and saving it.
Gotcha,
So yeah,
gotcha.
so they're doing their routine of waiting with the pickaxe to try to hit someone in the head, whoever drops the provisions, and
Yeah, yeah. They're trying to outsmart their situation, but just the minimal things that have changed in their whole
yeah,
situation.
and the kid just kind of copies him and says some snarky shit he said to him back to him, and so he just fucking flicks his cigarette at him, and when it hits the grass just disappears. Like it just like, or the cigarette hits the grass disappears and opens up
Right.
this hole. And he's just like, oh shit, this is new. This is something that's new.
Oh,
I have something to do. This is the mission, you know?
really quick, I think something important to note is when the kid mocks, he's not being malicious about it. He's almost it's like the equivalent of holding a mirror up to yourself
Yeah.
to be like, hey, this is how you are. This is how you treat people. You know, this is what you're doing. You know what I mean? He's not doing it to kind of get a rise out of them for his own like, enjoyment.
Mm. But when you look at the whole journey of this movie, this scene is actually very important to how they wind up. So I
No,
almost
no,
think
no,
this one
no.
is intentional, this
I
part.
I don't think it is. I think it's because it kind of before we get to the end, like there's a spot at the end where Gemma's doing a bunch of things and you see how other people are. It's like this is the situation given to you, and how you react is up to you. And you're making these choices, and you see some choices that change towards the end for the characters. But I think it's just with Tom, like as if he wasn't doing, because she breaks his balls a little bit about the smoking. And she's like, not in my car. She's like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, I know, I'm sorry, just a little bit. I got the
I'm
nerves.
stressed out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stressed out. I got the oogity boogieties. You're like, all right, dude, fucking shut up. Um, so that's kind of like a thing. So they introduce these things slowly, but I think his choice towards that, because he has such angst and hates the fucking kid so much because of what he represents as his freedom. That's why he doesn't just put his fist through his fucking head. And at that, like, I was like, dude, he's gonna take that cigarette and hold it that kid's fucking eye. I'm waiting for that. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I was seriously waiting for him to pickaxe that fucking kid in the dome and just go,
Well,
Jim, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. Just take me now.
This kid, I mean, I know like a lot of parents would be like, "Oh, your kid's so." No, I'm not one of those parents.
No, dude,
Like,
this is not a
this
kid though.
kid fucking.
He's
No, I mean like the kid in real life is a fucking ugly little shit. Okay, so seeing him constant, I was just like, oh,
he looked like a normal kid.
yeah, he's fucking pretty ugly for a kid. All right, Kevin.
Hey, dude, you're a kid watcher, not me. I'm just saying.
I'm not a fucking kid watching.
Not like that. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
would you say it like that? That's the only way anyone hears it.
When you say it like that,
No
then I
way.
go,
You
yeah, I
know
gotta
it.
be like that.
I could hear your fucking haha got him tone when you said that.
What
And
the hell?
anyway, I still think that this one is intentional because
Sure.
they need Tom focused on this. It drives them apart, him digging this hole, and it is useful to the movie's goals in the end. So Tom, he just starts digging this hole and this shit, and he's just like, this isn't. He's like, where's the topsoil? What the fuck's going on? She starts helping him, and the kid is just, the kid's just there.
He just watches.
Yeah, he just
He just
watches.
does his job. That's his job, is to watch.
Yeah.
It's basically Tom's obsession, right? So Tom needs something to function because he's getting cabin fever, stir crazy. He has nothing to do with this energy and angst, and he can't do anything with it. So once he finds this whole thing that he becomes infatuated with, that's it, 100%. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. Slowly, he doesn't give a fuck about nothing. Just
he doesn't. He doesn't really he doesn't interact with the creature anymore. He leaves it all to her, which stresses her the fuck out. And there's a great, so they do their breakfast routine. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna go, and she's like, oh, let me help you. And he's like, no, I got this. Like he just really wants to be alone with his hole. And
well,
she's like,
well, remember before that, he loses his shit before he goes to the hole.
oh, aren't they dancing or something? Or
Well, yeah, because this is the part where the movie just kind of does this wash, rinse, repeat daily thing. So there's a kind of little things that happen, and he gets kind of like a blur. They try to have a moment where the car battery still works, and pardon me if they're out of sequence, but it's just kind of this end of second act, beginning of third act shit. So they have a moment there where they're dancing and stuff, and they're just trying to like have some sort of normality. They're dancing to that fucking reggae song again.
Yeah.
And
the kid's watching.
And the kid's watching. And these kids watching. And then the kid starts participating, right? And he starts trying to join in. He's dancing. And everything's fine. Like everyone, just no one gives a shit for.
Yeah, they don't. Like they actually look like a family. For
no, they do. They do.
Second.
And I think that was a great scene to kind of be like, is he letting his guard down, or is he just kind of succumbing to all this, or is this life now?
And they're just kind of like, like they're just dancing, and the kids is there. They don't really take the time to acknowledge him. They're not like, hey, dance with us, kid, or anything. Like they keep doing them, But But from the outside appearances, they look like a family, Until the kid just does he push Tom, or he just bumps into Tom or something?
Yeah, they're like jumping and dancing, and then like he's like steps on his foot or something, and Tom stumbles back and hits his head on the curb a little bit.
Yeah, and I took this as like the problem with his mimicking is that he's more of a It's not that he's learning, he's replacing.
Right.
So he's learned Tom's dance, and so now Tom needs to get the fuck out of his way so he can do Tom's dance. And by doing that, he pushes Tom. Tom hits his back of his head on the curb, and he just fucking loses it, and he fucking canes this kid into the fucking ground. He's just like, choke slam, motherfucker, boom!
You know what? I wanted it to be a little more aggressive. He kind of just picks him up and throws him down.
Yeah,
like
but it's
he,
just,
he scoops him. Like I was like, dude, he should have just fucking carbon footprint, just like Yakuza kicked this dude in the fucking face, and the kid flips it.
And the kid just hits the back of his head and it just smiles like, hey, and I was just like, fucking curb stomp him. Finish him. Don't go into the house angry. Fucking finish him. Yeah. I mean, at that point, I've been like, fuck it. Nah, this has gone too far. This kid's getting curbed. And she's just like, dawg, what are you fucking doing? And, and she goes into like, she's still, it's like, it's weird because she's like, don't call me mother, but I'm still going to, like, I view it more as she still has this hope that they'll get out and that their lives will continue. So she's going to keep this thing alive because she has to. And she still, because she works with kids, still views it as a child.
I took it as this part. I took it as that too, that she's trying to kind of preserve that hope. And then her just instincts are like, it's still a kid inherently. And sometimes I think she forgets. And it just like, it's like almost a knee-jerk reaction for her. And she's just kind of like, dude, like if she would have been like, hey man, that's her fucking meal ticket. Don't fucking kick its teeth in, please. Like, she doesn't really say that. She's just kind of like, dude, like, because number one, that's not the Tom she knows. Like everything is just topsy-turvy emotionally, and it's just everyone's degrading and breaking down, and Tom's not afraid to, fucking choke slam a kid to hell.
No, he's not. He's like, we're going off this cage together, motherfucker.
Yeah. He just Mick Foley's him and throws him off the hell in the cell. I'm going to be like, Jesus Christ, Tom, no boys should have to ever take that bump.
He's dead. He's dead. So
Tom is killed again.
Stands up, crimson mask. He's just like, ah. They're just like, ooh.
I'll see you at WrestleMania. And everyone's like,
give Eisenberg the fucking Oscar. Look at that shit. He is dedicated.
Where'd you get the Oscar, Jesse? I murdered a kid on film. Sick.
There's a snuff film. Everyone believe me.
Oh, no, Jesse, we're talking about this movie? Oh, I've said too much.
What? All right. Thanks for that. Thank you, Academy. Just walked away. They're like, what? Weird. Did you think he was in the after interview thing too? What was that? Yeah. That was a weird. He didn't even thank his agent or the production company. What the fuck?
I like to trick them. I just leave it recording and everything. Fuck them. But this is, like I said, this is the part where I get kind of confused again.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the middle of the movie is that there's so much because everything looks the same. You kind of just like, what fucking order did everything happen? I just know that he starts digging more and more and more, and it gets to the point where he hears a sound.
No, they have another blow up where, like, the next morning, like the kid does the screaming for fucking Cocoa Puffs again.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then Jesse's like, "Fuck Tom, not Jesse. There's no Jesse here. This is Tom.
This is Tom's show." Yeah, I love this part.
Yeah, Jim is just like trying to like
Jim.
Wait, what?
He said Jim.
No, Jemma. Sorry.
Oh, Jemma.
Yeah, Jim. Jim's like there. And Tom.
And Bill. Giving her a pet name. Yeah, she'd probably correct you. She's like, don't call me that. That's not.
No, it's
Jemma
cool,
or
babe.
nothing. Okay.
So she's this kid wants his fucking Fruit Loops and shit.
The milk level is not right, so he's still fucking shrieking. And you'd think that they would just be like, you're getting too much milk every fucking time. I don't give a fuck.
No, dude, it's making him grow. They want this shit over with. I'd fucking put milk up his ass 24/7 if it got me the fuck out of there. I'd drown this motherfucker in milk.
On you.
Yeah, open your mouth and open your hole, because here comes 2% both ways.
Get it. Does it taste like anything? Tastes like my fucking freedom. And the minute she gets it right and he stops, he's just like, "Fuck you, kid." Boom! Throws that bowl.
I thought he was going to spike his head in the bowl. I didn't know what. I thought he was going to.
Here we go, round 2, Hell in the Cell, part dose.
Dude, I thought he was going to take a spoon and dig that kid's fucking eye out. I was like, Tom's lost it. This is the movie. Tom goes crazy, part 2.
Yeah, but all he does, he picks up the kid he's just like, she's like, what are you doing? He's like, shut up. Just shut up. Just let me. This is something I can do. Let me do this. I mean, that's what he says about the hole, but I assume it applies to this situation as well. And he puts the kid in the car and locks the kid in the car. And then he drags her back inside. And he's like, if they want it, they'll fucking come get it. Otherwise, it's going to die. And I don't give a fuck.
That
and
was
I'd
another
say,
Tom point where I was like, Tom's the man right now.
That was a great fucking point. Because at this point, you have to kind of know, whatever the situation you're in, you're not coming out normal. and B, are you coming out like really? You think like you think this situation someone's just like, and now you're free to go.
I thought about it too. I'm like, yeah, the trappings of it being a kid is just we're so like susceptible to that where we're like we don't want to harm a child, but it's pushing you to the fucking limit every day.
Listen, a normal child pushes you to the limit.
I could imagine super annoying fucking child.
This thing scared my child away. My child was like, I'm not fucking, no. I'm not going to be associated. I'm out. I am fucking out. Like every time it screeched, Kevin, I wanted to just hit my TV so much. I was just like, Tom, you're a god among men. I would have slapped the shit out of that boy. And I'm not a hitter, but I'd fucking hit that monster.
Yeah, I would have fucking powerbombed him through the fucking straight to hell.
I'd be like, you fucking better get new furniture in this house tomorrow, because boom.
I was like, I'm gonna whoop your ass at every single house on this block, and there's a lot of fucking houses, and that's a lot of ass getting whooped. I would just be cutting promos on this kid. Oh, dude.
He's like, why are you wet? Because I've been kicking that boy's ass all day.
Yeah, and then I love that part because he's like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to starve him out. That's it. I'm starving him. Fuck him. And then she's like, we don't got to do anything physical. We just, you don't eat. And then she's like,
and the weird thing is after this scene, the kid, I don't believe he screeched for food anymore.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He switches. Like
tough love, man.
The kid kind of like slowly kind of like levels up in a way where his demeanor changes just a touch. And that's when the TV kicks on, where he finds out he's watching TV.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, I think that happened in between. Yeah, they find him watching TV because he's just watching TV. They hear this
dips away.
Sound.
Yeah.
Oh, because he hears the same sound in the hole, and then all of a sudden he hears it again. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he turns out the TV. And he's just like, "No," and then he turns it back on, and she turns it off, and he's like, "On," and she's like, "No, on, no, on," and he does the screech, and she's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And he's just like, "I don't know. That's not a fucking boy."
He's just like, that's not a child. It's a thing. It's a it.
He's like, "Don't call him. It's not a him."
It's like there's these like weird black and white patterns. These very like row type map pattern type things that are flashing just constantly in the screen, and the kids, it's almost like hypnotic, and the kid's just obsessed with it. He just stares at it just countless hours just staring.
It's the only channel.
It's real UHF, man.
Like picture this, you're in this house for 95 days with this fucking kid that screeches high pitched. He sounds like an adult. He's dressed like a Mormon. And there's no goddamn TV.
They took the TV.
There's not even a book to read, okay?
Later on.
If you want to know why they argue, that's why. Because they only have them fucking selves to entertain each other.
Yeah, it's like being in prison.
And they can't even do that because Screechy McShitpants is just like, I'm watching you.
Well, yeah,
and maybe now I'm gonna touch one of your peepees when you're sleeping. And Tom's like, I'm the only one of the peepees. Like, maybe one of your peepees. And he's just like, that's it. I'm wearing both my boxer shorts tonight.
So Tom's obsession with the hole just becomes like unwieldy. Like he just stays day in, day out. It's all for him. He doesn't let anyone intervene, anyone join.
Yeah. He's also very slow. I mean, I get that he's digging a hole, but like when you see him actually doing the work, you're like, it seems like you're making a lot of progress. What the fuck's happening?
Yeah.
Next day, you're only like a foot deeper. I'm like, all day, and this is all you're getting done. Maybe take a day off, recharge the battery before you know.
It's literally something for him to do to stay sane. It's his only ounce of sanity.
And he started to develop a cough that's getting worse and
He's
worse.
got miner's lung. He's got the miner's cough.
That's
like,
what I thought. I was just like, you're like close to the gas line or something.
Yeah, dude. I was just like, dude, you're breathing that shit in. And he's just like, yeah, he heard those weird animal type noises, and he's just like, fuck, I gotta keep. And then she's like, where are you trying to get to? He's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna see if there's anything below. And she's like, what are you trying to get? Like Australia or something? He's like, yeah, maybe. So it's like she's trying to encourage him. She's trying to like lighten it up, but he's just not having any of it. There's like, they actually do.
She keeps trying to have cute moments, and he's just like, nah.
Well, because it's almost like she sees herself like leaving his life. Like it's just like she's just there now.
Yeah.
So,
well, and what's worse is she's there. There's probably nothing worse than feeling alone with someone else.
Exactly.
And then also you're raising a monster.
Yeah.
So
and that's
like,
that's the thing that weighs on her the most. And then there's other times throughout where she's almost trying to show this thing some humility, this kid, and that drives Tom crazy. He's like, you're not his fucking mother. Like she's just kind of like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And like he's just like, he don't have an answer for her, but he knows what he doesn't want her to do.
Yeah, because there's a scene where she has him look at the clouds. She's like, what's that cloud look like? And he's like, a cloud. And she's like, what about that one? He's like, a cloud. And she's like, yeah, where I come from, they don't just look like fucking clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it starts off as like, oh, is she trying to connect with him or whatever? And then she's totally just like, kind of almost in a way reminds this kid that he's not her fucking son again. And I think even that's another one of those times where he's like, mother. And she's just like, I'm not your mother. Don't call me that, you trash thing.
I kind of think that's for her as well. I could be giving this too much credit, but that's almost like she needs to say that thing because she'll get lost in that too.
Exactly. Like, she needs that reminder. She needs to jerk herself out, otherwise she'll start believing it. And he even asks, he's like, well, who is my mother? And she's like, you're fucking, I don't know. You don't have one probably.
Yeah, she's like, fucking, what was this, 20 questions? Fuck off.
Yeah, and then the boy disappears.
The boy disappears. This is
she just starts walking around looking for him.
So this is kind of important.
Again.
So this is like the next big pivot in the movie. Like the movie's kind of like, it gets stagnant for a long time with that. And then this is kind of the next big jump off. And granted, the movie's only 97 minutes, but it feels really long there.
Yeah.
It's not unbearable, but it's just like, so I don't want people to be like, oh God, it was just like 5 hours. No, it's not as like excruciating, but it's kind of like you're treated to so many little snacks in the beginning. Then all of a sudden like no snacks. And you're like, fuck.
The problem is there's not enough character moments, It's just the kid being kind of annoying and weird. And that's not enough, It's like you said, you needed that moment at the end with them sprinkled out, just a couple of those throughout, or even just like a fucking flashback of just their life. Show me their lives before this, so I can understand the hell they're going through.
Like there should have been more of them. I wanted to see them to try to connect.
Yeah,
I almost wanted to see almost like a ping pong game of like maybe he tries to connect and she's just kind of too stressed out with the kid, so he just goes back to the hole, and then she tries to connect and then he's just like hole, I'm making some breakthroughs here. You know what I mean? Anything to kind of keep that
very believable in relationships.
Exactly
how it goes. And instead it's like we see them have sex once, and then like he brushes off sex a second time, and it's like back-to-back nights almost, and you're just like, oh, is that it? Were they just using sex to remind themselves of their relationship and to feel
that was
something?
Normal. Yeah, for sure.
And I understood, and I believed and understood that, but then it was as fleeting as it was introduced. They were like, we introduced it, now it's gone. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because the thing there's real no sense of time. You only get that one marker of his height being measured. There's no like...
Yeah, after that, you're just like, I don't know.
And that was another thing I wanted the characters to do. I'd have been like, I'm counting down that whole house would have just had marker numbers all over it. I'd have been keeping hash marks. I've been like, I'm going to see how long it takes before I have to put this fucking kid in a pine box. So I got if I could take it anymore.
Yeah. And then,
kid comes back.
He disappears. He comes back and he's holding a book. and she's just like, what the fuck? And she calls him a mystery at some point. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like, you're a mystery, and I'm gonna figure you out.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I was on a mystery, and he's got the book, and she's just like, oh, can you do some impressions? And she like just plays along, like he
This is
copies
where
her, he copies
this is
Tom.
where the copying, like she remembers it. She takes her training as dealing with children every day, and she kind of starts speaking to this thing like a kid, and she
Yeah.
starts like could just tricks them a little bit. And she was like, this is kind of like another great part in the movie.
Oh, super. Yeah.
She's like, well, yeah, you're good at mimicking us and copying us. She's like, do Tom. And then he kind of struts around and does Tom. And she's like, very good. She's like, do me. And he does like the hair whip and the little hand on the hip bullshit.
And he's
And
like,
he's
can I
like,
do a dog? And she's like, yeah, do the fucking
mm-hmm,
dog that you do every fucking day, you fucking thing. And he does the dog.
mm-hmm.
And then she's like, can you do anyone else? Is there like someone that you met today?
But who? Who can I do?
Yeah. And she's like, someone you met today? Someone new to you? And then he basically does like this giant bullfrog neck and makes a different shrieking noise that's just
Mm-hmm.
as annoying. And the look on her face of terror was just amazing.
Yeah, it
And
was great.
perfect.
I think as a side note, I think she's really good in this. Like,
Yeah.
I think she did an incredible job, especially dealing with that fucking kid.
Yeah. And then after this, I think is because she's just like, he's like, what are you feeling overwhelmed, mother? And that's when she's like, I'm not your fucking mother.
Yeah.
And then boom, we age forward. Like the kid is not a kid. He's like a fucking young adult, like, early 20s looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still having to feed him. And he's like, thank you. And she's like, you're welcome. And he's like, is that sarcasm? She's like, no. He's like, well, then I know you don't mean it though. And he's like, is it fear? And she's like, probably. And he's just like, probably. And he copies her again and starts, still mimicking and stuff like that.
And here's the thing: when he mimics, it's her voice. It's her voice verbatim.
Yeah.
Like it's not him just going probably.
Yeah.
He sounds identical to her and Tom. That's what makes it so fucking creepy.
Yeah. When he's the kid, it's like the weird filter in a way, still a
Mm-hmm.
little bit on it.
Yeah, that's what.
But when he's an adult, yeah, you're just like, that's their fucking voice.
Yeah,
So,
he's mastered it.
yeah, and we see Tom, and they're like locking themselves in the bedroom, and then she's trying to follow. Like he goes out every day or something, and he's just like, "Oh, this is your favorite game, isn't it?" And she just tries to follow him, and then you just see him very fucking cartoonish, like go through
Real
one
Bugs
side,
Bunny.
comes out the other
Yeah.
side, yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck?
It's just the same shit as the car. They can't follow this guy. The sound doesn't travel right. It's just
Yeah.
they're in this just weird bubble.
Yeah, and then Tom just keeps digging and digging, and he finally finds something, and it's a fucking body bag.
Yep. He's using the ladder. He's deep. That 10-foot ladder is working.
Oh, he had a ladder extension. At
Yeah,
this point. He
yeah.
had like broke wood from something and put it on there.
So here's the thing, like just to kind of jump in, if you're mildly engaged with the movie or you're kind of a close viewer, you like to watch stuff, you see this stuff coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even a fucking mile. Like if
Well, I'm not joking. I said the bird thing tells you the entire movie.
No,
I was like, okay.
the bird thing tells you the entire movie for sure. It doesn't deviate from that in the slightest.
Yeah.
And then once it slowly starts showing its narrative speed kicks in, if you'll see it, like you'll see it more than a mile away. And that's the only thing that kind of I didn't like is it did every single thing I knew it was going to do, which isn't bad per se, but it was a little disappointing because it was so expected, you know?
Yeah, I needed more of those moments where they're just like flipping off this child. Like that, I was like, oh, okay, damn. All right. Or like him lighting the fire. Like I didn't expect him to just be like, I'm torching the house. Fucking second day. I was like, oh, okay. I expected that eventually.
Screaming. with showing the throat sacks, these big nasty throat sacks he has all of a sudden, because those are just like you're peeling back the curtain a little bit more, and that was the thing of like they kept protecting really what is happening.
And at that
So
point, yeah, like you said, as a viewer, if you're paying attention, you know that you're dealing with aliens essentially is what it is, or or I don't know, monsters,
some
whatever,
otherly
like
non-humanoid creature
yeah.
things.
When my wife and I were watching, we were like, "Oh, this reminds me of this and this and this," like Twilight Zone, where they're in the zoo.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
it's just there's
late.
so many things.
Any Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, not the new ones, the older ones, fan, you got it in a minute. Like this
Yeah.
is like your wheelhouse. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't.
No,
But
there isn't. It needed, and that's why it needed more of the stronger moments. So like
exactly
after
because
this, like Tom's done. Like he's just exerted himself.
right.
He's done. They're not allowed back in the house anymore. The dude has locked them out, and so they're
Right.
just out on the sidewalk. He's just laying on her, and they have this great moment that you wish they had had more of, where they're talking about how they first met each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just so perfect. It's like it's definitely his best performance outside of slamming that child down. Um, it's his best performance of the film, and then that's it. Like he's gone, and she's left alone in this situation now. And then the fucking guy shows up with another box, just the provisions box, and she goes to open it thinking like, oh, there's something to save him or whatever, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a fucking body bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Tag
didn't
him and
like this
bag him.
part. Yeah, she just watches him tag and bag Tom and throw him down the hole. And that's why I think the hole was intentional, because they needed the hole to get rid of, somewhere to put the bodies. Let him dig his own grave, essentially. And so that's why I think that was intentional for the kid to like stand there in that spot where they already,
Well, I disagree, but I like it I think it was for Tom because Tom had those tools for that. So it could have been the kid played towards that, but from all the watching. So yeah, it could go, but I didn't take it that way. I don't disagree, but I didn't take it that way just because of what we see next.
yeah, true, but I don't know.
I get
just
it.
still seems like
It fit his narrative because like so if you don't mind, this is what happens like so yeah, he gets thrown in the hole. So you're like, oh, is it similar to the bags in the almost skull-shaped thing Tom fell earlier? Did he dig his own grave, i.e., is he pushed out of the tree, and so on and so forth? Is this capitalism? Is this a metaphor for life? What the fuck am I watching? And then
is
so
this capitalism?
so you're like, okay,
Is
I get
it? They're just like, what? No, it's just aliens,
Huzzah,
dude.
the subtext. Um, so this part is like Jim is like fuck this. This dude comes home and she's waiting in the car. She's like, don't sleep on my hood, dog. This is me. I'm about to pop off. You messing with the G money. And then he's like, hey, I've just done my whole
This
rounds.
is
I've gone to see
fucking
my alien overlords or monster
this is
overlords.
an I quit match now.
Oh,
So
this is a fucking I'm coming for your fucking face, boy.
yeah,
He comes up, she rushes this fucker with a pickaxe, tags him right across the head, and he's like, oh shit, I've been hurt. I don't like this. I gotta get the fuck out of here. The sidewalk and the lip of the curb open up, and he scurries down there. And then
yeah, like a bug.
yeah, it's so sick. She catches it with the pickaxe before it closes, and she's like, no, motherfucker, we ain't done. She's all in to kill this fucking
Yeah.
dude.
Well, what
So
she got? She's got nothing left to lose. She knows now that the only exit is death. So
no,
she's
yeah,
just like, fuck it. I'm going.
but
I'm
I
taking
like
this
that.
thing out.
That
Yeah, I
she didn't
liked it too.
bitch out. She didn't even stutter. She like there was a half a second where she was like, "Yo, he just crawled in between the fuck it," like
Yeah.
she was just full bore, slides down there, and it's almost like this fun house, twisted house thing underneath.
Yeah, it's just
And
it's the house. It's the house continued. It's like has a different color filter on it, and then she just like falls through a door and is just like in another house with like a red filter on. There's the little boy again
yeah,
watching TV and a woman crying at the table, and you're just like, oh
so
damn.
and then she falls through another, so she sinks through the
Well, she
floor,
goes to
right?
sit, yeah, she goes to sit down and like, another human being, and just like, boop, falls through the fucking floor. And I was like, no.
Yeah, she's really there, and the other girl like tries to acknowledge her by looking up. Like they both have that moment of like, holy shit,
Yeah.
another person.
Another
And
person that's not the person I came to
yeah,
this house with.
exactly. And then she ends up in another room and she's in a bathroom and she sees the tub and there's a guy that has killed himself. He slit his wrist, traditional tub style.
That's
Uh,
how I would go out if I was in this world. Yeah.
oh, dude, I'm going out with fuck everything's done. These alien motherfuckers gonna have to come up here and rip my dick off or stuff because I'm gonna kill the kid. I'm burning this whole neighborhood down.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
driving the car through houses. I'm fucking going
if
crazy.
that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna go out that way.
I'd probably kill myself by like falling off a roof or something. You know what I mean? Just
Dude, that's it. They're gonna like, oh, you're still alive, suffering for a couple
yeah.
days.
No, just the flames will take me. Um, so she sees that, and then she's just like, motherfucker. Well, we totally skipped a part where she goes through the book that he has,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's basically this alien like rhetoric like printed out, and then it kind of shows like an outline of a man and a woman, and then the boy, and it has like the pouches on its neck. So you're kind of just like, oh no, or
Yeah, so you're not
aliens
even like
making
super surprised by the boy having the thing on his neck. So.
yeah, but it's real like what the fuck is that? And then they show it to you, go, okay, yeah, I can dig it. So it's just almost like this. You're seeing other couples with the boys. So basically, they're taking these couples in this like
Yeah, it's a
controlled
farm. It's a farm
environment,
system.
and breeding these kids. So go ahead.
It's the bird in the fucking nest, you know.
Right.
And we see like my favorite was when she falls through in like a bedroom and there's like the older kid clapping as they're like fucking. He's just like clap, clap, clap. I was just like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with this fucking kid? And then eventually she just falls down on the stairs, and I was like, she's back in number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Back in good old number 9. And sure as shit, she's there. And then like the dude comes back in and he's got another body bag, and she's just like, they're talking, they have this like good moment, and he's just like, and he calls her mother one last time, and she's just like, I'm not your fucking mother. And he unzips it, he's like, what? And she's like, I'm not your fucking mother.
Whatever.
And he's like, whatever. He copies her whatever, and I was just like, that was really good.
The last little middle finger at the end. Yeah, so she's getting all banged up around those in the rooms. Like, doesn't I can't remember
she's
what.
Like, she's just at the end of a rope because it's very cultish the way they're feeding them. It's enough to keep them alive, but you can tell,
It's
like,
not
no matter what,
it's
draining their
nutrients,
life.
I should say.
Yeah, it's not nutrients.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
just mass in their
water.
bellies. Like, yeah, she's just exhausted. She's just so done. Like,
yeah, there's nothing to go on for, so.
And the body bag, like, it's like a Ziploc air suck thing.
I will say that bothered me because then when they threw them, none of them were airlocked anymore. I was just like, what the fuck?
They're like, bro, it's just like chips. There's a hole in the bag.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that popped open. And then, so then the fucking monster they've raised throws her down the same hole, covers the hole, the grass repairs itself. He goes through, he repairs the house and gets it ready basically for the next person.
The circle of life.
And he takes their car, puts gas in it, and drives out, and goes back to the same real estate office where Martin is now like an old man because these things age rapidly. And then unnecessarily, Kevin, I'm going to say unnecessarily, body bags the old Martin. I was just like, come on, I got the body bag thing, okay?
Yeah.
Don't need a third.
It was a little much to body bag him. Like, I like that he took the name tag.
That was enough.
But he body bags them and like folds them into thirds. And I'm like,
and puts them in a fucking cabinet. I was like,
interesting. Like, do you guys just disintegrate? Now I have more questions than ever.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, but this is in the movie, so I'm not going to get any of those questions answered. So thanks.
He sits down and he's like, and here comes a brand new couple.
Wearing blue and pink, which I appreciated because they don't really show their face. I was like, all right, okay, fine. You're just making it real fucking obvious, man, woman. So
yeah, real simple.
And then a song that doesn't fit the entire movie kicks on, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, I didn't know. I didn't mind it at that point. Like, I was like, okay.
I did. I was just like, nah.
Just to hear "Rudy Don't Fail" one more time. I just want to fucking hear it.
I wanted that. I wanted it to just be reggae. Instead, it was just like no reggae. Reggae
embodied that couple happy pop indie music embodied this couple.
That's what brought them together.
Exactly. So yeah, that's kind of the movie. I think, like I said, there was the things I enjoyed about it. There's things I wish it kind of was tighter on and did a little bit better, but I didn't hate it. But it made me think like, this is why Twilight Zones are the length they are. The 40 minutes, the 40 minutes, the 20-minute, 25-minute ones. And I kind of just referencing the classic ones, the Rod Serling ones. The new Jordan Peele ones, I can't get into as much as I try. I want to, but they just something's off about them. I can't put my finger on it. But that's what this is, very Outer Limits, very, very a nod to that, which I'm probably a sucker for 99.9% of the time. So that's why I wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's just the pacing and the tone in the middle are what really like muddy the waters. Like the first act is almost too short, and the third act is definitely too short, and the middle is just too much.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, this could have been a 45-minute thing. Like as a short, I'm kind of curious to see the short, and probably would have been like, oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
But or just give them, like I said, you could have just given them more strong character moments, but instead you don't. You just kind of like drive them apart easily and then leave them there.
I agree. Like the time I wish was used a little bit more efficiently for them, and for the character's sake, the narrative's sake. You could have threw an extra 5 minutes in the beginning just so I can get to know them. I don't need to know everything, but just show me that they're a couple. They're going to make the next big step of buying a house. They're ready, and then I'm like, hey, this is fun. I get it. I'm rooting for these guys. What house you gonna get, guys? Oh, is it gonna have a view? How's the fucking neighborhood? And then we get to it, and then I'm like you said, like they needed more of those conversations to keep their sanity throughout. Of like, hey, remember that Christmas was you, me, and Jack and Jody? You know what I mean? And then I'd been like, okay, they have a fucking history together. You've shown it to me with the idea of purchasing a home. You're telling it to me in narratives. They're laughing. They're trying to take their mind out of this terrible situation that they can't understand. Something like that. Like it screamed for that. And then those pull aparts and him going to the hole, you would care so much more because you're like, bro, don't leave her, man. That's your fucking girl. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. And then you didn't need as many scenes of him in a hole. There's a lot of scenes of him in a hole.
Dude, there is a lot. You want to see this man in a hole?
If you want to see a guy who's never dug a hole before dig a hole, this movie is for you, because he does not know how to dig a hole.
I'll tell you right now, day 5 of me digging a hole, I'm butt ass naked digging that hole. I ain't wearing no clothes, fucking.
And I'm getting it done.
And I'm getting it
done.
And you know what?
He's like still throwing dirt up when he's like 8 feet down. I'm like, that's coming right back down on you, Jesse. I'm calling you Jesse at this point because you're digging a hole like Jesse. All right.
Not Tom.
God damn it. Not Tom. Tom he was a gardening professional. He knew about topsoil. He had a ladder. He had a couple tools. Yeah, he forgot about them for most of the movie, but he remembered eventually.
When you go back into they go back into the trunk of that car, and there's really not a lot there, but there isn't.
There was hedge clippers. I would have taken that kid's head off. But like, let's find out when we do this.
I don't think you needed that for the kid. Like literally just fucking goddamn good old fashioned dynamite and thunder on his fucking temple would have knocked him out.
For sure. But and to go back to like the moments that we talked about that it needed, and that would have done a lot more to make the kid creepy. Like they have this moment, you almost forget about the kid, and then the kid just shows up. Instead, they were just like, just have him always like 5 feet away or whatever. I wanted more moments where they forgot about him. And tried to be normal, and then he interrupted with his weirdness.
That would have been perfect, man. Because I think the kid was great being creepy and just fucking like. To be a kid and to be like that, you're like, oh, that's an annoying movie kid, whatever. But he was just like on a different level of like, God, dude, like, how do you have? It's almost commendable that they didn't snap his neck in 5 seconds, because who could withstand that? And I don't. Maybe they could have had more conversations of like trying to outsmart their situation. You know what I mean? Of just kind of like, what do we do? He's like, I want to kill him. She's like, I know, and it's changing you. Like, just something where they acknowledge each other degrading and trying to lift each other up. I don't know. Like, I don't know how many other ideas you could have got with them.
But it got old just having him repeat the fights that we never saw.
Yeah,
It worked the
exactly.
first time, but then the next couple times I was like, all right, that's not really
Yeah.
doing anything now.
A lot of missed opportunity. It's like the idea was bigger than the characters. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of how they approached it for the narrative sake. Like I said, you had two, like this chick, she's great. I think Jesse did a pretty great job working off of her, and I think there could have been a
Yeah,
lot more together.
eventually.
Eventually,
Because
exactly.
I think in the beginning he's kind of just like I even was just like
He's a
thinking to
real
myself, I was like,
whatever boyfriend.
I was like, is he playing a character right now, or is he just being himself? And I don't mean that in like his acting's so good. I mean
Mm.
like, it reminds me of that interview he did of the Magic movie.
Right.
He's coming across exactly like that, a dickhead. And you're just like, huh.
Ask who you shower to see if
Huh.
voila.
Yeah.
Blackjack, bingo. Was that magic or what? Would I do it?
We throw the card around the room.
Huzzah.
Why is any fucking corporation putting, I don't know, important data on a playing card?
I never saw it.
I just saw this one scene. They were like, fucking check this scene out. I was like, okay. I was like, that was all CG. What the fuck? Why are you impressed by this? This is all CG. Fuck you, internet. Fuck you and this stupid movie.
Done.
And anything with Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg in it. It's like
Nice.
That's just a blanket statement, Just saying. But yeah, I mean, so go ahead.
What do you think, Dustin? Are you recommending?
It's hard for me to tell you to watch it after we've told you the whole movie, which is why I said if you had any interest earlier,
Oh no,
just
yeah, we
turn off and watch it.
we addressed that side of the room.
Yeah, I mean, if you still are just like curious, definitely just give it a watch. Like it's by no means painful to watch at all.
No, it's an easy watch for sure.
Yeah, it's
And
a
like
very easy watch. It's still rewarding to a degree. I mean, there's
Of course.
disappointing parts, but
There's good moments.
I didn't finish it, but like, fuck this movie. I gotta go
Exactly.
fucking tag it and bag it, just like they do 3 times, But it definitely has its problems and issues. But I assume you're probably on the same boat. You're in the same Volkswagen Golf as me, so
Yeah. No, yeah. I think it's like if you're remotely interested in whatsoever via this podcast or via any trailers or anything you saw, yeah, it's for sure worth a watch. If that's kind of up your alley, some people are going to look at it and go, that's weird. And it's not for them. And I get that. But it does, like I said, it does things I like. I wish it could be stronger at points, but it's an easy watch. It's an easy recommend. Yeah.
It's like $6 on YouTube. So
Yeah. You're not gonna like hurt yourself. You're not gonna break the bank and go, God, do I get the fucking large size nuggets or do I watch the Vivarium movie?
You know what? We'll just get the family meal. It comes with the 4 Whoppers anyways and the 4 French fries.
Fuck your movie.
That's only $13. Feeds the whole family. Just look around the room. You're by yourself.
I don't have a family. I'm a big boy and I love to eat.
Like I'm the family. Come on, Jesse, entertain me for 97 minutes.
He's like, no guarantees.
He's like, I don't know, just like I'm the second on the movie. I mean, I produced it, but really, it's all about poots.
Mm-hmm.
Poots and boots.
Love that accent. So yeah, Vivarium. That's it. Check it out if you're into that stuff. And yeah, Dustin, you got anything else?
No, you can follow us on the social media. Us versus Movie on Instagram. You might have a hard time on the Twitter because for some reason they thought we were a spam bot and they locked me out of the account for a couple days. It seems to be fixed now, and they were just like, "Hey man, slow down your tweets." I was like, "Hey man, I got a fucking life and a schedule. I'll tweet when I want to, and you fucking deal with it, okay?" It's not like I was like, "Ooh, Russia spam bot, you fucking." So anyway, just mostly follow us on the Instagram, and yeah, thanks for listening and subscribing and all that.